Good morning, everybody.
Good evening, everybody.
Oh, good evening. Right, good evening.
Yeah.
The next time we'll learn will be Motzei Shabbos, 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Motzei
Sure.
Shabbos, 9 p.m.
When are you coming back, Ernie?
I'm coming back Monday morning, God willing.
Before Yomi Daf?
Yeah, we'll be here before Yom Tov.
Okay.
We're on Tzadik Zion, 97.
7.
You know, let's just wait a minute because there are people getting home from the Reisman Shiur.
Oh, that's true.
We'll go to 9 o'clock, so let's just make sure, because it's a small block.
Well, this and the next one are small.
Right.
Where are you now? In Ranana? Ernie?
I'm in Ranana, correct.
Do you feel any of the war there or no?
Not at all.
No.
Why? What does it say when you listen to the news in America? What does it say is going on?
I get every 5 minutes news from Israel, those apps and WhatsApp.
Yes.
It drives you crazy because they're bombing here, bombing there. Apparently, yesterday, a rocket from Hezbollah destroyed, the ones they used to shoot the rockets, Israelis, what we call it?
Iron Dome?
Yeah, it destroyed an Iron Dome shooter, whatever. But I also got today a video from a hospital in Israel, and this Muslim woman is talking. They're curing her very ill son, and she's spewing hate against Israel, and it's in Israel. And they have to give her care for her son who is very sick. And she hopes that when she comes out, she'll be a shaheed. Shaheed, I think it's one of those.
You're like a martyr.
Martyr, yeah. I used to think that one day there would be peace. I don't think there'll ever be.
I don't know. That's a long. Never. I don't know about never.
I know, but it's
Maybe not in our lifetime.
that's correct. Ah. Well, maybe they're not coming. I don't know
Maybe.
what happened. I don't know if Harold is in town.
Let's just give another minute.
Okay.
Okay. Tzadik Zion, 97. So there was a case where somebody used a shovel and it broke. And it was in normal usage. And then the case was brought to Rav, and Rav said, you have to pay for the shovel. So Rav Kahana Ravasi said to Rav, Dina Hachi, is this the way to paskin? Shosik Rav. Rav didn't have an answer. What you do is the guy who borrowed it gives back the broken pieces of the shovel and gives him money to make up, let's say a new shovel is $100 and the pieces are $50. So he just has to give him the pieces and $50, and that's it. That's the same case like the nevela, that the Bailim get the nevela corpse back. Let's say an animal dies. So the shomer gives back the corpse. They evaluate the value of the nevela and what it was, what the cost of the animal was. And he has to add the money to that same case, same thing as this. Who gathered the shoel davla mechavre? Person borrowed a bucket for his friend, from his friend. It broke. Also coming to Rav Papa. Amalei, I decided to his baby if to bring us Adim, that your usage of the bucket was the same, was regular usage, and that it broke in regular usage, and you'd be potter. Who gathered the shoel shurim mechavre? Person borrowed a cat. He had a lot of mice in his house. He wanted the cat to eat up the mice. But the mice got the better of the cat. 100 mice attacked the cat and killed the cat. Yosef Ravashi became a boy late. Ravashi was sitting. What would be the din here? Is that considered kimesa machlos malacha dummy? Is he borrowed the cat to hunt mice? Well, that's same as that it died during its work. We said before you'd be potter. Oh, look. If you have a case where there's an armed guard and he's killed by women So that's very unusual. Lo dina v'lo dina. You can't collect in court because it's an unusual, it's not the normal thing for women to kill men. And the same thing here. It's not normal for the mice to kill the cat. The cat kills the mice normally. And Ikidiyami Achal Akbar Tuva for that it was the different case. It wasn't that the mice ganged up against the cat, but the cat ate so many mice that he had a full stomach and he died. And Yosef Ravashi what's the case in this case? That's the case that was brought, that if women kill an armed guard, that would be an unusual event. And similar, a cat dying from a full stomach by eating too many mice would be unusual, and therefore they would. By the way, the case is that if a man has many times relations, either with one woman or many women, that's what we mean that a man was killed by woman.
Had a heart attack.
Huh?
He had a heart attack.
Yep, got a heart attack.
What a way to go.
What a way to go, correct. He went out with a bang and not a whimper.
Yeah.
Okay, which side, bit late, where we holding?
Tzadik Zion, 97. You just came on a good note. Amarava. Haiman the boiler mishul meeting chavri v'lifter. The Gemara gives an eitzah to Talmidei Chachamim that if you want to borrow something and you want to be potter for things that happen, namely, at the time you borrow something, Ashken Maya, ask him for something to drink. Because remember, that's going to be that you hired him to work with you. So it'll be Yishtav Shela B'Bailim. It's like you borrow with the Bailim and you'd be potter. The Pikechu, but if the lender is smart, namely, Shail Bereisha V'Hadar Ashkeche. First, ask what you want to borrow. Then I'll give you something to drink. I mean, you don't do it exactly at the same time. It's not connected, and therefore would not be she'el b'bailim. Then Amar Rav Mikra Dardaki, teachers in school, shasla, gardeners, tabacha, butchers, phlebotomists, people who draw blood, saper masa, the barber of the city. Kulu be'iden avidatar k'she'el b'bayim dami. While they're working, they're considered as if you borrowed their work with you, because each one you give something to them to work on. It's considered she'el b'bayim. They'd be potter. Amar Rabban Rava, Sharlan Mar. The Chachamim said to Rava that you are hired to teach us Torah. And we're borrowing you. So anything that we borrow from you, we don't have responsibility for because it's she'el b'bayim. Ikbid. Rava was upset. You're coming to cheat me out of money? Other Rabba. Ason she'ilton li, just the opposite. You are borrowed to me. You're my talmidim. You're helping me be choizer my learning. And therefore I'm the balabais, and you're my workers. And therefore, if I don't have responsibility for anything that you lend me, I'm in charge. I can decide which Masechta to learn. I can go from Masechta Shabbos to Masechta Yuma to Masechta Moed Katan. I'm in charge. Ason lo matzin lishtamusi, but you can't get along without me. So I'm the balabais. But velohi, when the Gemara resolves that really it's not so. twice a year in Adar and Elul, all the men gathered for, it was called the Kala. And they would learn in yeshiva for a month. So then there was an established Masechta that everybody learned. And the Rosh Yeshiva would say, Shiurim in that Masechta, he can't just change it. So he was lent to them. But the rest of the year, Inu Shilu Lebashar Yomi. They were loaned to him the rest of the year because he could choose what he wanted to learn. Mereba Bar Chanina Uger Kundaisa Bechuzoi. Mereba rented like a horse at Beis Chuzoi. Nofik Lidlui to Una Badayu. He joined the other workers there to lift a burden onto the back of this animal. Pashabo mis. These workers were negligent with the animal, and the animal died. Now the question was, since he helped, is it considered that they were shomim with the Baalei Mimo and they'd be potter? Also, Rava Chayvinu. Rava said they're chayav to pay. Isn't this a case that they were negligent with the Baalim there? So Rava thought that he paskined wrong, and he was embarrassed. Later on, the facts of the case came out. The Lameser to Unahu Denofak. No, he went to check. The owner, the Meramer, was there to make sure that they didn't overload it. He didn't come to help them. He was there to check them, that they shouldn't overload. So therefore would not be considered, that would be an exclusion to Pshia B'Bailim. Anich Mando Omer, Pshia B'Bailim Potter. So according to the Mando Omer that says Pshia B'Bailim is Potter, that's why there is when he first, Mishamachi Ichsef, when he first passed that they were Chayiv. El Mando Chayiv, then my Ichsef, why was he embarrassed? That was the right din. So the Gemara says, Lo mipshu pashu bo. They were not negligent while they were loading. Ela ignuvi ignuv was stolen. And then umesa kedarka beganafavu. And then, while the owner had it, it died in its normal way. The also coming to Rava v'chayvinu. And then Rava paskin that they were chayiv. It was a gneva that occurred while the bottom were there. So he was embarrassed because normally gneva b'bailim there's no machlokas. Everyone holds potter, and he had paskin chayiv, right? L'sofik loy milsa the l'meser to uno nafak. Again, he wasn't there to help load, but rather to check. And then it was no bailim there, so he paskined correctly. But when he said chayiv, there was nothing to be embarrassed about. Mishnah, Asher el Sapara. You borrowed a cow. She'elik chatziyom u'schor chatziyom. He borrowed it for half a day and he rented it for half a day. Or Monday he borrowed it, or on Tuesday he rented it. He alternated days. Right? Sha'ol hayom u'schor l'mocha. That's the second case. Sochar achas v'shol achas. He rented one animal and borrowed the other animal. Umesa means he rented one, borrowed one, and the one that he borrowed died. Amashal oimer, the one who lent it, says she'ulamesa, my animal died. Biyom sha'isa she'ulamesa. Said either my animal died or the day. Remember, because we said we alternated days of renting versus borrowing. It was my day to loan it. So he wants to be paid back. Or or in one day where they divided the day, he said it was during the time that it was lent, and he wants to be paid back the full amount. The halo, the one who actually did the borrowing or the rental, oimer, any odea. He's not sure. He's not sure. In that case, chayiv. So if the one who did the renting knows for sure, and the one who rented it out or loaned it out knows for sure, and the one who borrowed or rented it is misupik, is in doubt, he has to pay. Then if the soicher oimer tzchura mesa, the renter says, the one you rented for me died, or the day that I rented, or V'halo omer, and the one who rented it out says Eini Odea, then the guy who rented it is potter. Now, if each claims they know for sure, the Shoel, the Mashil says Ze omer she'ula, the Ze omer schura, but the one who rented it said no, it wasn't borrowed, it was rented. Yishava hasoicher sheshchura mesa. The one who rented it says it was the one who was rented that died, and then the din would follow, like we said, that he would be potter. However, if each one ze omer eni odea v'ze omer eni odea, each party is not sure, then yachloku. Then they divide the value of the animal. So from this Mishnah, Shma Mina, Manali biyadcha. Reuven says to Shimon, you owe me $100. V'halo omer, Shimon says, Eini odea, chayim. Because the one who's claiming knows for sure. The one who's claimed against is not sure. He's have to pay. Is that what seems to be from our Mishnah that would be the din? If that's the case, leimet evitiyuf to Rav Nachman. Then it's a kasha on Rav Nachman, the idmar. We had this case in Bava in Ksubis. We had it in Bava Kama. Before Didman. Manli biyavcha. Reuven comes to Shimon, says, you owe me $100. And Shimon says, V'lo omeni, I don't know. So it's machlokes amrei. Rav Huna, Rav Yehuda amri chayiv. Rav Nachman, Rav Yochanan amri potter. So the Gemara is arguing our Mishnah that says when the one who was claimed against says he doesn't know, he's not chayiv to pay. It's not the same in like a loan. Rav Nachman says he's potter in that kind of situation. Where do we see it? Kedom Rav Nachman. So Rav Nachman says, so the Gemara answers on behalf of Rav Nachman. And over there, it wasn't just a simple case. It was a case kagon sheyesh esek shvua b'neim. So between these two parties, there was some other issue that they were arguing about, where the one who was claimed against was chayiv to take a shvua. So since he has a chiyuv shvua, but when he says any odea, he can't take a shvua on that issue, so he has to pay.
Why don't you say how much in Chavera?
No, in a regular case, we're talking about where there is no evidence on either party.
Oh, but the guy's making a claim against somebody
So
else.
he makes a
says,
claim.
I don't know, maybe.
So if he makes a claim, the guy says, "No, I don't owe it to you," then he doesn't have to pay.
He says he doesn't know.
So then he has to. So then there was a machlokas. Rav Huna says he has to pay. Rav Nachman says he's potter to pay. There is no evidence. Neither side has evidence.
So then you shouldn't have to pay because you have to prove that I owe it to you.
So according to the way Rav Huna, Bori V'Shema, Bori Otiv. Since the claims are not the same, one has a Bori claim and the other only has a Shema claim, in that case, you don't have to rely on Motzi B'Chaver Alav. You pay even though there's no raya. Because it's not, if it's Bori V'Bori, then Echad doesn't have to pay. Then he could claim, you have to bring me proof that I owe it to you. But Bori V'Shema, it's not the same type of claim. That's how Rashi learns. According to Rav Nachman, he learns like you. He learns like you. Even though it's Bori V'Bori, Uki Mamon B'Cheskas Mori. V'lo Tifka Misfeka. And we paskin like Rav Nachman. We paskin like you. That even with a Bori Shema claim, you would not have to pay unless he brought Raya.
Right.
But that's the Mahalach of the Gemara. Until we get there. But even before we get there, the Gemara is arguing that the reason why it's putter there was some kind of other inyan that they were arguing about where the guy who was being claimed against had to take a shvuah. And that's why Rav Huna says chayiv. That's why Rav Huna and Rav Yehuda say chayiv. Because there's a reason to take a shvuah, and he can't take a shvuah, so he has to pay. By the way, those are the other cases, for example, where you can get if one person doesn't take a shvuah or takes a shvuah, even without evidence, you'd end up paying because of the lack of shvuah. So here, because it was an Esek shvuah between them, that's why he would be chayiv to pay, because otherwise there's a chayiv to take a shvuah. Since he doesn't know, he can't take a shvuah, he has to pay. But in a regular case, he would be potter like Rav Nachman, because like you said, uki mamona b'cheskas mari, leave the assets where they are unless there's amos b'chaver alav. Now, what's the example? Hechidami esek shvuah. Well, what is this case? Kederava. Okay, Mario, we're going to go to Tzadik Ches now.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
1 second.